Master JC Channel.
Una, nakaka-excite sa mga picture mga ito. Pero pagbaba pa lang namin ng bus, iba na yung pakiramdam. Hindi ko makuha tumingin ng matagal sa baba. Sobrang nakakalula kasi hindi ko akalain na ganito pala kataas ito, Master. Kaya mo rin ba maglakad dito? Oo, ikaw, Master. Today on Master JC Channel. Kapit ka lang, Master, ha?
Master JC Channel.
So pag nag-honk na yung driver, kailangan bumalik na din sa dito sa sakyan. Ang labig ko ng pako talaga, guys. Ayun guys, yung gulong. Ang laki. Tignan yung sukot nun. I think 5 feet yata yung taas nun, or maybe 4.5 or 5 feet taas nun.
Alright, hello everybody, welcome back. Well, someone told me what my name means in Hebrew, and I just want you to know that made my whole day. My dad's Scottish, and he says Ness means monster, so thank you. The Hebrew meaning is... Did I say seatbelts already? If you'd like to put your seatbelts on, it might be a bit bumpy on the reverse.
Go! Papunta na kami sa Skywalk or Glasswalk.
That was a big bump.
Yung matarik. 32% gradient, sabi niya. Yun, yung pababa na yun. Ngayon, aakyatin naman namin. Ayun, ma'am, yung binaba natin, no?
Alright. Now, who had a good time out there? A couple of people had a good time out there. Who had a great time out there? That's what we like to hear. Now, you are my last tour of the day, so I'd like to do something special, I think. Would you like to see how fast the bus can go? I thought you might say that.
On reverse!
In reverse. That's really funny. We're gonna go forward, but we'll go as fast as we can. Here we go.
Okay!
And that's it. What did that say? 20 kilometers an hour. It's a new record for this old bus, I think. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ness, you're making this look pretty fun to drive. I want one. I hear ya. I want one. And you could have one if you wanted one, but it'll cost you $1.3 million.
Oh!
Yeah. That gets you some pretty exclusive ownership bragging rights. There's only 24 of these machines in the entire world. We still own 22 of them, but we sold number 23 to Australia, and it works in the mines down there. And then we recently sold number 24 to the United States, and that bus works in Antarctica. Yeah. But what do you get for $1.3 million? You get a pretty big engine. I've got 720 horsepower in this thing. And that comes with another 1,200 pounds of torque. I'm a bit of a car guy. If you're not a car guy, that means, or car person, pardon, that means that this is a really powerful vehicle that's made to go really, really slowly. Now, when when we were out there on the ice just now, somebody asked me how fast. No, we've already done that. They've asked me, I guess that works, how fast the glacier's melting, how long it's got left. And that's a really great question. I think we should tackle that one as a group. I know global warming isn't anyone's favorite topic, but it's kind of neat to talk about it here because we can actually see what's happening really as it happens. So let me blow your minds, if I may. Have a look to your left-hand side, straight across from us right about now. You'll see a big rocky, slopey mountain. It's got some trees on it. And just below that tree line, so right before the tree's end, you'll see 4 big rocky bald patches in a squished cluster there. Do you see those? Yeah. Those, my friends, are the original terminal moraines of the Athabasca Glacier. On the way up here, did your shuttle driver, did they show you the terminal moraines beside the Discovery Center? Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, and your driver's not wrong. Those are terminal moraines. They are from the Athabasca Glacier. But those terminal moraines only show us the glacier's most recent extent. And that was during the Little Ice Age. It wasn't a true ice age. It was brought on by an increase in volcanic activity somewhere between the years 1300 and about 1840, 1850. But these terminal moraines, halfway up the mountain there, these show us the glacier's furthest extent and highest reach. And that was during the last real ice age. That was the Wisconsin glaciation period. And that started about 100,000 years ago and ended roughly 11,000 years ago. The neat thing about climate change that you might not already know is that it happens in cycles. And these cycles seem to happen every 100,000 years or so. And they happen because of the way the planet spins. So of course the Earth spins around the sun, but it also tilts on an axis and it wobbles. And when the planet wobbles away from the sun, it's colder, we get an ice age. When it wobbles back towards the sun, we get a warming period like the one we're in. And it's been getting warmer for the last 11,000 years or so. But just recently, we found a way to make things hotter faster. So what does that mean for the glacier? That's the real meat and potatoes of this here. I told you we had that group of scientists out here for the month of July. So this group of scientists determined that the Athabasca Glacier has anywhere between 75 to 95 years left to be. You know, the way things are going. And when the glacier isn't there anymore, that valley on the right is going to look a lot like the rest of the valley on the left. It'll be a U-shaped valley that's indicative of glacier occupation, and there will be more lakes down there like the ones to the left-hand side. That furthest lake away from us, that is the Sunwapta Lake. And that was still totally covered by the glacier in the year 1940, and then totally uncovered as the glacier melted past by the year 1960. And this lake closest to us, just below your left shoulder, it's still touching the toe of the glacier. That one's pretty new. It's still too new to have an official name. How new? Is that what you said? Well, I'm glad you asked. Do you see that gigantic brown boulder on the shore closest to us? The glacier was touching that gigantic brown boulder 7 years ago when I first learned to drive the bus. Now, back in my day, that's where it was, and it's pretty phenomenal to see just how far we've come. The thing about the melting that I think is important to acknowledge is that 10% of the planet's landmass is covered in glaciers. And in that 10% glaciated landmass, those glaciers hold 70% of the planet's fresh water. So when we lose those glaciers, it's going to raise the global sea level by 70 meters. That's about 240 feet, give or take. Might be a good time to invest in desalinating technology, or if you're an entrepreneur, it might be a good time to get something going. But you know what? I'm really hopeful. I'm really optimistic, and I will tell you why. Because in 2020, we saw some pretty amazing things happen. COVID, of course, was an awful thing. I'm not saying that at all. But because of COVID, well, we shut the world down for a bit there, didn't we? We closed the factories globally. We stopped burning all this fossil fuel. And when we did that, it gave the planet a chance to recuperate, to heal itself. So really industrial cities like Hong Kong, Tokyo, Delhi, these places, the smog lifted and they saw blue sky for the first time in a long time. And the dolphins came back to the canals in Venice, Italy. And that hole in the ozone layer over Australia, that closed up. So there, I'm hopeful, and that's why. And on that hopeful note, I'd like to show you my favorite mountain. It's over here on the right-hand side. You might get a better view out your roof. This is Mount Athabasca, and from the parking lot, you'll see it's got a big, beautiful glacier on the front of it. And Mount Athabasca is one of the tallest mountains in our area, just over 11,000 feet tall. It's one of the most popular mountains for climbing, mountain climbing out here. I don't want to brag, but myself and some friends did this one just last summer. We're fairly experienced, so it took us about 5 hours to get to the top. And it took another 3 hours or so to get to the bottom. If you're less experienced, but you still want to try mountain climbing, it might take you 8 to 9 hours to reach the summit, and about 34 seconds to come back down.
Not so fast.
So fast. We set a new record. It was this Mount Athabasca here that the British explorers climbed the first time they documented the Columbia Icefield. And that was all the way back in 1899. They had heard some fake news that Canada had Himalayan-sized mountains. We don't have anything nearly that big. But these two, they said, well, we're here anyway, we're going to climb something, so let's climb that one. And from the top, they saw the Columbia Icefield, which they described as a vast ocean of ice, surrounded by unknown, unnamed, and unclimbed peaks. What poets they were. And now, I told you, you're my last tour of the day, so I have a little tradition. We sing the end of the day song, and I'd love your help with that. It's quite famous. It's by John Denver. You might have heard of him. We changed some of the words from West Virginia to Banff, Alberta. So if you'd like to sing with me, it goes like this. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Banff, Alberta, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, and now you all know the words, so you can sing with me. Here we go. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Banff, Alberta, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. That was beautiful. Give yourselves a hand. Yeah. What a way to end the day. What beautiful weather we still have. This is great. Actually, you know what? I realize this is not the end of your day. You're still going to the Skywalk. How rude of me. You're probably wondering how you get there from here. Am I right? Yes, okay. Well, Yeah, I'm not gonna take you there. It's dinner time for this girl. But see those buses coming up here? I bet one of them is the shuttle that's going to take you to the Skywalk, and then you can stay there as long as you like. I think we close at 8 o'clock tonight, and there are buses coming back every half an hour. If you don't want to stay till 8 o'clock, you can hop on those buses, and they'll take you back to your car. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. On behalf of myself and the entire Columbia Icefield team, I would like to say thank you so much for coming out today. Thank you for enjoying this beautiful weather with me. It's just been so fun to have you along. Now, someone's in my parking spot. Well, you know what? We're gonna make our own rules today. Please bear with me as we park the bus. Even though I'm making my own parking spot, it's still going to take me a couple of tries. I didn't brag about it before, but this bus doesn't have power steering. I am the power steering.
You can do it.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo-hoo. Somebody get this girl a raise. And that will about do. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out today. It's just been so fun to have you. Thanks.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. I thought we were doing the reverse.
You're such an amazing driver.
Thank you.
Okay? Yeah. Tom, is this yellow button a jack button? You just have to.
Hi, Mikey.
Oh, we're done.
We're done.
More videoing. One
No.
more.
Skywalk.
How's everyone doing today?
Good.
You guys had a good time with Ness?
Yeah.
Good. I'm really happy to hear that, folks. Did everyone drink from the Fountain of Youth as well?
I'm drunk.
You're drunk.
Yeah.
Wow, why'd you save me any?
Taste cognac.
Alright, folks, if you guys did drink the glacier water, we call it the Fountain of Youth because it does make you look younger, but it takes about 2 weeks for the water to actually work through your system properly before you look younger. So, if you wake up tomorrow and you still look like crap, it's okay. Because I've been drinking this water for about 3.5 months, so, I mean, I think I look great for 70. The only thing I could not get back was my hairline.
Oh my god.
I know, right? Alright, folks, so it's about a 10-minute drive from here to the Skywalk. On the way there, all I ask is that a Toronto Maple Leafs hat? Yep. Do you need to see a psychologist or something?
I do.
Alright, yeah. Those Game 7s really get you, huh?
I know they do.
Okay, sorry, folks. It's about a 10-minute drive to the Skywalk. On the way there, all I ask is that you sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and if anybody has any questions at all, my name is Mark, spelled with a C, not a K. So, when you guys write your good reviews later, you spell my name correctly, right? Yeah. Alright, folks, hang tight. We'll get there in about 10 minutes. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Any questions?
We're good.
Wow. Alright. Usually there's at least one smart question, but I like you guys already. Good job.
Hey.
There's still hope.
No. There's really not.
See what happened to Calgary this year in the off season?
Yes, I did.
That's going to happen next year for the Leafs.
Likely. It's already.
I'm just giving you a hard time, man. My brother's a Leafs fan as well, so it's just nice to finally give a good chirp. And his response usually would be, Mark, I've heard better chirps from a dead bird. So do you guys all hear that beeping noise? Everyone hears that?
Tabi mo muna.
Okay, so folks, this is actually the eject seat button, so if you're not wearing a seatbelt currently, you will get ejected. And if any of you just looked for a seatbelt, you can look up in the clouds and see the word gullible. Hey. You guys walked into it. I just led you there and you walked through the door.
Push it.
The yellow button on the sides of your seats is to recline. I know. I shouldn't even tell you that, but yeah, that's what they're supposed to be for, but this bus is older than me, so there you go. So folks, did Ness talk to you guys about rock flower today?
Nope.
No? Goodness gracious. What about katabatic winds? No? She just made you laugh the whole time, didn't she?
Yeah.
That sounds very Ness-like. So folks, what rock flower is it's the most fine version of a rock you can ever find, and it's always caused in glacial areas because the ice, when it's on top of that rock, grinds it down when it expands and contracts all the time, creating this very fine powder that is so similar to your baking flour that you use in cakes or homemade bread that we've named it rock flour because it has the exact same texture. Now, what's something really cool about rock flower, folks, is that this is actually what causes the color of the water out here in the Rocky Mountains. So you guys ever been to Lake Louise?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful color lake, right?
Yep.
So that's because the rock flower that was very active at one time is now settled to the bottom of the lake, and that is actually what reflects the sunlight back up in that very unique turquoisey color. It's not the water, it is the rock flower. So anytime you're driving through any let's say you're going to Jasper after this, you'll be driving along the Icewalk River, and once you get closer and closer to Jasper, you'll notice that it gets more and more vividly green, and that is because the rock flower has more time to settle. And aside from here, where we'll see the Icewalk River in just a few minutes, you'll notice that it's very murky, and that is because it is very diluted in rock flower, and it hasn't settled at the bottom, so it cannot reflect the sunlight like it usually would in a lake.
Oh, there's the mystery machine. Remember we saw that? Where did we see that?
Oh yeah, says the van. Now folks, if you guys look over your right hand shoulder, you'll see a little green shed in the back of per lake over here. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
That's where we keep the Australian workers. And when you get to the Skywalk, if you see a really big dude that looks like a polar bear with dreadlocks, his name is Nick. He is also Australian. Ask him how comfortable the beds are, please. Just humor me into it. I am just kidding, folks, for those of you that are in the back of the bus right now saying, oh my gosh, this guy is just so mean, making fun of Australians, putting them in green sheds. They're so mean here. Guys, it's a joke. Loosen up. Because it is 2022, I gotta say that, because someone's always offended about something, right? No? That wasn't funny at all? Alright, cool. Now folks, did Ness tell you about our triple continental divide? Wow, good answer, guys. Love that. Are you guys hungry?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you answer that question. Now, folks, this glacier is coming down over the mountain here right in front of us. That is the Snow Dome Glacier, and it is the only glacier on the entire planet that feeds 3 oceans at the same time.
Whoa.
So, 2 directions of water flow are actually on the back side of Mount Snow Dome and the glacier Snow Dome itself. But one will dump into the Icewalk River, which is to our left. Remember I said that the water is going to be a little bit more murky looking? This is what I mean, because it's so diluted with rock flour. But back to the triple continental divide here. So one flow of water will come down here to Shinwata, eventually making its way to British Columbia and parts of California. It'll say hello to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre along the way before jumping in the Pacific. And then the second and third flows of water, as I mentioned, are on the back side of the mountain, and that where they will go, one will go north, visit Santa Claus and all his elves in the North Pole before jumping in with the polar bears. The third and final flow of water goes through the most boring provinces of the entire country, being the prairies via the North Saskatchewan River. And eventually it dumps itself into the Hudson's Bay, which is part of the Atlantic. So that is the only glacier on the entire planet that feeds 3 oceans at the same time. And I am the one who got to show you. Is everyone alright?
Yep.
Yeah, no one needs a hug? You guys are awful quiet. I give away free hugs. Wow, I've heard crickets louder than you guys. Can you imagine if that goat heard you say that? I'm sure his feelings would be hurt. Like, wow, look at that weird human. Why they all got their cameras out? I'm just trying to eat.
He's a Leafs fan too.
No, I'm not.
Are you from Toronto?
Yeah, just outside of Toronto.
Oh, nice, nice. So in the GTA?
Pretty much, Orangeville.
Okay, yeah. I used to see a girl in Brantford.
Okay.
Not much to do there, huh?
Not much.
Nope. Didn't like it.
Cheer for the Leafs.
Well, you know what? Cheering for the Leafs is better than cheering for Ottawa.
Yeah.
去过了吗？啊？Skywalk。
Are you guys at least Raptors fans too?
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
Ha? Kaya mo. Pikit ka lang.
So folks, when you were on the ice with Ness today, I'm assuming that she answered all your questions and probably told you some really cool facts that you didn't know about the area. So if you guys are looking to have the same type of experience up here at the Skywalk, I do recommend asking for a guided tour. They do offer those all day, every day, alright? And just so everyone does know as well, there will be buses coming back up every 10 to 15 minutes at this point. So when you guys feel like leaving, just jump back in the line and a bus will pick you up. So with that being said, make sure you bring all of your personal belongings with you off my bus today, because I may not be your driver again later on. But if you decide to leave any of those things here with me, that's totally fine. They're totally safe. And you will find them again this evening on eBay for a great price.
eBay.
Simon. I'm going to be driving you back down to the Discovery Centre. I know what time of the day it is. I know everyone's tired, everyone's hungry, everyone's sick of being talked at. So unless you guys have questions, shout them out. Otherwise, I'm just going to let you sit there and enjoy the views.
A remarkable experience in the Canadian Rockies. Discover the power of nature with Columbia Icefield Adventure. The must-do experience in the Canadian Rockies. The Columbia Icefield has been the defining geological heart of Jasper National Park. Visiting the Columbia Icefield and the Athabasca Valley is like peering into the heart of the planet. Here, guests can fully experience the powerful force of the Columbia Icefield and learn about the fascinating history of this ever-evolving ancient area. On this incredible experience, you'll travel on a massive ice explorer all-terrain vehicle to the Athabasca Glacier, a 10-year-old sheet of ice where you can walk on, feel and drink from the glacier. From there, you'll head to the glass floor Skywalk for a jaw-dropping walk at the cliff's edge. Maraming salamat kung nakaabot ka sa part 3 ng ating episode 5 or day 5 travel dito sa Alberta, Canada. Pinilit ko na lang hatiin ito sa 3 part dahil sobrang haba at para na rin malaman ninyo kung ano ang nangyayari habang nasa tour bus kami. Maraming nakabalot na story ang mga lugar na pinasyalan natin at hindi lang dyan nagtatapos ito dahil kasama na rin tayo ng mga bagong generation na magpapamana sa mga susunod pang generation, kaya kailangan master ingatan natin ang kalikasan. Itong day 5 namin, ang pinakamahabang vacation so far namin dito sa Alberta at super dami naming masasayang experience at kahit sa aming pag-uwi ay dala pa namin ang tamis ng aming mga ngiti sa tuwa at babaunin namin itong isa sa pinakamagandang experience na aming naranasan sa aming mga napuntahan. Master, maglalambing lang ako sa inyo na kung bago ka pa lang sa ating channel ay pakiclick mo na ang like button, subscribe button at ang bell notification para ma-update ka kaagad sa susunod nating video. Once again, ako po si Josel, ang inyong kamaster na umakyat sa bundok, uminom ng pinaka-fresh water at naglakad sa gilid ng cliff na naririto sa Jasper National Park. At ito ang aming buhay dito sa Canada. Super duper respect! Yaba! To the max! Master, hanggang ngayon kinikilabutan pa rin ako dun sa cliff. Sobrang taas kasi. Next on Master JC Channel. Bakit ba tayo babalik doon? May nakalimutan ba? Ano kaya ang sinasabi niya? Sobrang daming tao dito. Bakit ang haba ng lakarin dito? Sobrang dilim. Pwede ba tayong sumisid dito? Hindi ba delikado? Alam mo ba kung saan ito? Hindi mo pa siguro ito napupuntahan. Only here on Master JC Channel.
Master JC Channel.